that day. So for you, it's also an introduction to how you approach research. So this is a bit what we want to talk about today. And it's the first time we tried at the school as well to have you as students as partners in the discussion about what is teaching, what is experiential teaching, how can we maybe research, how can it become something in teaching. For you as a future development, also as researchers, rather than just being an architect. And you'll see also by your practice, everybody will do is a kind of research, research and practice. I think it's quite aptly to see. Yeah, fine. Better now? Well, I think I speak loud enough anyway, but okay. So, just some brief introduction. We will also try the speeches, we will try to put them on our YouTube channel later on. I'm not very good in uploading it, so it can take 2 or 3 years. But okay, whatever. We will also try this is actually a code for you also as the students. We will try to make a little booklet about this, just from the day. So what the speakers are telling about how they see the place of experimenting, experiential teaching in our regular curriculum, but also as a part of research. So we will try to speak about that, but also your feedback on how this could serve, and we will put it into a booklet also. It goes together with a research network which is called Explore. So maybe this. Yes. So this is the research network Explore. That's Versailles and the research lab of Versailles is part of. We have the school, of course, and the LEAF, which I am part of as a researcher. And they actually the LEAF helped us a lot this year. They paid also for the trips. They helped us to bring all these people to Versailles. So thank you for that. And the laboratoire, for those that don't know it, if you ever look on our website, for the students also, just check it out. We have different axes of research, and one of them is called éléments et phénomènes, which used to be called matière à expérimentation, which is a lot talking about how the project as a basis of research can serve for further development and research. So we have it. Please check it out on our website. There is a possibility for you to later become a researcher or a doctoral student here in Versailles. For the people from outside, we have a research lab. We have about 40 researchers currently on very, very, very different topics. We have 5 big axes of research. And one of them is, as I said, éléments et phénomènes. That's where I am part of also. There's also for the students, again, next year you have the mémoire. One of the mémoires is also called matière à expérimentation, éléments et phénomènes. So if you want to continue in this this way of research, I think it's interesting. I don't know how it works. So it's really, I have to push it or it's So one of the things when I had to present about the work of Jean Bouvet, and I use it a lot as a reference, I already told it this week, but une agence d'architecture sera beaucoup dans l'usine de fabrication des matériaux. And drame actuel, mauvais emploi des matériaux et structures. This is about 50 years ago, right? And I think it's still valid today. We somehow lost this connection with the real construction side. It's part of our job. But we became so professional that at some point we forgot about maybe the making of architecture as a part of the conception of architecture, but also as a powerful tool to encompass all the differences between the different partners in the process. And in schools, unfortunately, we don't always have the chance to do that. And what happens today is, in order to work with that, it's my conviction that we always are kids of our generation. So we constantly, in order to stay the same, you have to change all the time. And I think you have to change with time. This is what carpenters are using today for making timber constructions or whatever. So this is what we can use and abuse. The computer is only since 30 years, 40 years in our houses, and it changed massively how we do architecture maybe. It gave us some possibilities, but it also constrained ourselves. So what are the tools actually enabling in our environment? So this is a long text. I will not go through it entirely, but this is about the workshop that we are doing. So I'm doing the workshop since 2016, so it's not the first time, it's almost 10 years. And every year we're learning ourselves on something that I didn't know how to do it before. And I encourage you as students also. So usually when I'm teaching and when I'm going to universities, I try to do things that I have never done myself before as a teacher either. So I am not a specialist. I want to become a specialist, so I'm training all the time. And I go beyond that sheer knowledge that I already had. And I think that's the beauty of being a student. Nobody is holding you accountable for the moment. Once you construct this, you're held accountable. So that's a different story. But since you have that possibility to research all the time in school, you have to take that opportunity. And even for later, I think it's quite beautiful if you can use even structures, fabrication, kind of experimental way to find ways into architecture. So one word maybe for the speakers that are here as well. So we're doing this since a while. This is 2018 with Thomas Saraceno, but also fluid bodies. So it's every time. This is with researchers from different groups. We always invited a lot of people. So here Phil Ayers from CITA, but also the people from Madame Architecture. So different people, folded timber structures. Gilles Redson with AIA, and that went into the Archifoli for the Olympics. Augustin here as a representative. And maybe see just Augustin is here too, so we have a group of 20 students after this workshop. We continued with the pavilion for the Olympics, and now we're going to do a publication with Augustin for a scientific symposium in Mexico City. So he's going to travel to Mexico City as a student, and the school is going to pay for it. I don't know if it's really going to present, we'll see about that. So, but I'm quite proud of it. So this is also ways how to discover different ways of doing architecture, right? And we challenge the status quo because the people from the organization of Hayes Structures in France were a bit upset with us. So we had official complaints that went to the ministry and that we had to react to because they said that we were doing the wrong way of architecture with the hay or the straw rather. But we proved them wrong, and they were quite happy that we tested so many things. So it's a beautiful way also to challenge the status quo and to do things differently. So this is the organization of the day for the students. We will. So these are the different speakers. So we will start with Guillaume and the Beats. I will introduce them individually, but so at lunch break we will pass by your projects at the moment. To show a little bit how good you are. You are fantastic, so there's no problem. And then at 1 o'clock, I will definitely try to urge you to see the conference from Mr. Barber. It's really, I think it's quite fantastic, so if you have a chance to follow that at 1 o'clock. And then round tables, as I said, this is a bit of a new format also that we try to involve you into the discussions. I know it's in English, so don't be afraid. It's really an open debate that we're going to have and we're going to try it. We just don't know what is going to be the outcome, but we're trying to learn from you as well. So for everybody, I think the students, you know where it is. This is the way we need to walk, but actually we have to go to get in here. Maybe the whole time? No? Okay, then I'll have to go. It's a bit shorter, no? Okay, and then about the pavilion, it's the former director of the school, Jean-Christophe Canton. I think the students, you know about it. And I was lucky to work with it as well. And well, you can just see it. I think you already saw how it was built. We will not go into detail about it. If you have any questions, we can talk about it later. It's going to be taken down in September, and we're going to build it up somewhere else also. It's made for future installation somewhere else as well. Then here, this is where the roundtables will take place for the students. So it's up here, so there's 2 places. So just let you know, we will set it up with Jean-Marie if you have any questions. Also the monitor, they will know the next slide. So the 3, I think Paul already presented it yesterday a bit. And I have to say I got inspired by the paper that Lawrence wrote for a conference in Antwerp in July, the ICSA. Oliver will also be there at ICSA if you have the chance. It's a big conference, 3-4 days, about the future of architecture, also how the ecology of the future for architecture is going to work. It's a worldwide congress, right? And it's in Antwerp, it's not very far. Lawrence wrote about, he did some interviews, maybe he's going to talk about it, but he did some interviews with people that are doing these kind of workshops. And so I took the chance to use the titles again, so the possible learning goals and expected outcomes. And everybody's going to get the chance, so we'll have 3 tables, but we'll pass every half an hour, we pass to a new table, so we can discuss about all the topics. The moderators will stay at the table, but the people, the professors and invited people will pass also from table to table. Exactly. So this is really the learning environments. It's also quite important. What is the timeline? Should we do this rather as a summer workshop? Should we do it a full term? Should we only do a short workshop? Should we do it in the bachelor years or in the master years or postmasters? Who's supposed to be teaching? How many teachers do you need per group of students? Because you are quite lucky, to be fair. We have around 16 people that are teaching you in these 10 days, and this is quite a luxury. This is 1 per 10, which is a very good ratio, to be honest. Normally, we cannot have it. If you look at your regular studios, you don't have this ratio. And then the last one is also, and this is important for myself, how do we teach about bio and geosource materials? How do we teach about making architecture, fabrication, high-tech, low-tech? How do we integrate it for the future? It's your generation, you're in front of a big challenge, and are these workshops really helping to teach also the approach to new materials and making? So this is the last one thing. So I tried to put up this colored scheme. So these are the people that are going to stay at the tables. And if you're group 1, you're going to switch each time, so from there to there to there. Yes, it's very mathematical. It's super complex. Hugo Lamignan, for the students, I think you know who it is. No? It's a teacher at the school here, also a very good architect. Immediately. Good. And I asked Jung to talk about his experience with the master studio, making projects in Senegal directly by hand with the students. And I think I'm not going to put any other words here. Is there any questions for the moment? Anything that you need to know? No? You're all fine? Set? Okay, the ambition of the day, everybody's good? Okay, it's a long day, huh? Thanks to everybody up front for your enthusiasm and to help. It's really a test. We don't know how it's going to end today. And I organized a little drink at 5, so don't worry, you're going to have something to drink as well. If you stay on, there's something at the end. The motivational talk. Okay, so wait, maybe indeed, Jean-Marie, should we go briefly through the speakers before? Then I don't need to introduce you again after that. Okay. So Dieter Dietz, I have been very lucky in my life sometimes, and with the people that are sitting here, I happen to know them by meeting them on fantastic occasions. And Dieter is one of them. He used to be the head of the architectural school in Lausanne until last year. But he's also leading the first year projects in Lausanne. And with that, also a research lab called Alice. And Alice has become quite famous in Versailles at some point because we also made an installation at least. So they, in the first year, the students made a proto-architecture. And back in the days, that was with Cédric Libert, who worked with Dieter and brought it here to Versailles. So the students built a real installation in the Cour de la Fontaine, quite big. And so we met back then, that's already quite a while ago actually, it's I think 2017, 18 or something. And then we did several other ones that I was lucky to be supporting. So I would really like to hear from Dieter, because normally I come to Lausanne and have the chance to help a bit the students, but now Dieter is going to talk about his experience, about his making architecture with first year students. Thanks for coming. The next one is Mathilde Marengo. And this fantastic problem with Mathilde is it took me a couple of years to remember her name. I'm very bad with names. So she's always making notes about me because I don't remember her name. Now it's good for today, so I know her name. And we met in, I don't actually know, maybe we met in Copenhagen or something on the Fabrication. Fantastic conference also, Fabricate. It's taking place in Barcelona this year. Later in, it's next year, 2026. Please check it out. It's a fantastic conference. And Mathilde is working since a long time in Barcelona at the IAC, which is a very, very fashion school. It's a postmaster. Rather, she will explain and talk more about it. But she works a lot around these people that do crazy stuff. No? And then we have next one. Oliver, who's, as Mathilde is an architect and urban planner by training. Oliver is an architect by training, and we organized some years ago now a stone workshop, massive stone workshop, but also stone renaissance, a symposium about working on stone in the UK. And I tried to convince the Brits that they actually know nothing and that it's only the French that know how to work with massive stone. I'm not sure I succeeded, but okay, we're still trying. We're still trying to teach the UK people French also, that's not working either. But Oliver is going to talk in English at least. And he's since a long time an associate professor, I think. Yes, that's the right title. At Bartlett in the UK. And he's going to talk us a little bit about how the making at the Bartlett has taken a big role, what design technology can mean for students in the teaching program, but also the research. And then we have Lawrence, who's an architect and engineer by training. So double degree. Ooh, yes. Very good. And Lawrence is a professor in Ghent for the KU Leuven. And I met him in his own conference series, also about making. And so I took the chance also to invite him to talk about his feedback on how people talk about making in architecture school. So that's about it, I think. Then we leave the words to Guillaume first.